Hi guys, I have the Cupra Leon Estate. Now I got to test this car about a year ago at the Molly's event and I absolutely loved it. So what has it been like living with it for the last week? Well, here are the 5 things I loved and hated about it. I do want to apologise for this wind, by the way. The coat is zipped up, it is freezing and I'm really worried about the mics in the coat, so you know, we live and we learn. We're going to start off strong with the things I love, with number 1 being the interior. I love Cupra's interiors. Every single one that I've been in, I've just absolutely adored. It's the detailing of the copper everywhere. The quality feels amazing. We've got super sports, petrol blue nappa leather, 12-inch display, sunroof. This has just been such a nice cockpit to cruise in. It's comfortable, yet when you look around, it looks great. Number 2 has to be the space. And with this being an estate car, of course I am going to mention this boot. It's 620 litres. It's also quite flat and you've got a different little cubby hole underneath where you can make it a different level. I mean, you can literally fit everything you need in here, from filming equipment to shopping, suitcases if you're going on holiday. You really don't need a bigger boot. And of course, we're going to mention space in the rear. The seats are super comfy. Now, I sit as a driver quite far back and still I've got plenty of leg room behind me. If the seat's a little bit more forward, you have even more space, so you really can't complain there. The headroom isn't too bad, but the sunroof really does open it up. And in terms of width for this middle seat, it's actually very generous, as sometimes you can be a little bit cramped and crowded. And I know it's a slightly different topic, but you've got USB-C chargers, you've got your heating, you even got some little coat hooks here. I mean, I would love to be a rear seat passenger in this and get taxied around. I think I'd just fall asleep. Number 3, I've said it once, I'm going to say it again. I adore the Cupra's styling, and the Leon Estate, personally think, is one of the best looking estate cars currently on the market. You've got aggressive harsh lines, sporty design, little detailing everywhere. And I mean, come on, look at these wheels. They are gorgeous. Number 4 is going to be the drive. But let's remind ourselves what engine is in this car first.
It has a 2-litre TSI engine with 310 PS and 400 Nm of torque. It weighs just 1.6 tonnes, which means a 0 to 62 time of only 4.9 seconds.
I think this is the thing that's impressed me the most with the Leon Estate, and it really did surprise me when I first had that test drive back at Molly's, is how stable it is. Now, it weighs 1,600 kilograms. That is actually surprisingly really light considering the space we get in this car. And even though it is an estate car, it is longer, the balance of it feels fantastic. You can really kind of push on and have a lot of fun around roundabouts and stuff, and it just feels so stable. I'm guessing that's because we haven't got the height of, say, an SUV, but we have got the extra length. The suspension is very smooth in general, over potholes, speed bumps. You don't have to worry day to day about it. Sometimes with performance cars, you do sacrifice a little bit, but I feel like this you don't. I haven't really thought of anything that I thought, oh, actually, as a performance car, am I compromising anywhere? Now, yes, you may say fuel consumption, but if you're buying a car with a 300 horsepower petrol engine, you're going to expect not to be getting 50, 60 mpg. Let's be realistic here. But to have that performance under your foot, and that's just in normal, that's not even Cupra mode yet. So let's do that. There we go. The gearbox, I mean, DSG, 7-speed, you really can't go wrong with them. Between them and the Porsche PDK, they are such amazing gearboxes. They're just so smooth, so quick. You have got flappy paddles if you want the choice, but day-to-day driving on the roads, I think you want to kind of sit back and relax, whereas maybe going out on a track, that's when I would switch to the flappy paddles. And I think, do you know what? I've always thought with the Leon, it'd be more the Leon you'd probably sway towards to go out on track. But I still think you are going to be grinning ear to ear in this thing. The fact that you will definitely be passing people in an estate car, it would just be hilarious. It's so hard to explain, but the steering, the braking, the handling, suspension, it all is working so well together. And it's just, I love the Cupras, but do you know what? Believe it or not, it might be between this and the Formentor. That are my favourites. And number 5, and arguably the most important, Joseph approves.
Do you approve, mate? Take that as a yes.
So we've gone through the 5 things I love, but what about the 5 things I hated?
Number 1 and number 2 are going to be little things in this interior. As much as I love it, these are just little bits that kind of frustrate me. Number 1, I've said on pretty much every car that has this, and it's the fact that your up and down volume is on a different side steering wheel to your neck, so you can't do everything with one easy reach, you have to keep swapping. But at least they're in the right direction, where next is left and right, and up and down is literally up and down. Number 2 is something a lot of people have actually mentioned in previous videos, and it's to do with the heating system. These are not the easiest things to work. It's really hard to kind of get exactly where you want to go. I think a physical button here would be a lot more beneficial, and whilst you're driving, it's just easier to click that up and down instead of having to look how much you're swiping it by.
Number 3 isn't really a hate about this car in particular. Now, with it being an estate, it's obviously quite a long vehicle, and British parking spaces aren't really designed for modern day cars. There's certain spaces we've had the front end sticking out or the rear sticking out depending which way we park, and I am not the best of parkers, so I guess this is kind of more of a hate towards parking spaces rather than the Cupra, but I guess that's a perk of having an estate. Number 4 is grasping at straws a little bit. If you go to kind of pull the boot up yourself, right, I swear to God that for the past couple of days, if I've gone to try and like give the boot a little lift at the same time, the electronic boot's just stopped. Whereas if I've just literally done the little boot thing but not done any manual labour, it's done the electric boot. But now it's gone and shown me up. And last but not least, number 5, it's the fact that I've had to really sit and think hard to make up 5 things that I hate. So that's going to be number 5. That it's just been difficult. You guys all know I love the Cupra cars. I'm not usually an estate fan, but I absolutely adore this car. It's been so fantastic that, yeah, I feel like that's a good way to end this video. So you guys know the drill. To make my journey your journey, like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!